what I know. Better than the rest, just watch me grow. Put me to the test and watch me go. This is my quest, I'ma make it known. They call me obsessive, oh I know. Call me selective with my notes. Call me aggressive with my flow. Call me offensive even though Joe, I ain't gonna lie, life's tough. Try to get by, life's rough. Try to do it right.
Yeehaw, soldiers. It's your boy, the Anime Sage, coming at you for another video. And this is Pokemon Origins Johto version episode 2. Well, I guess it's time for this original story series to get an update, so here it is. The reception to this was actually very positive, so I guess there are people who like this concept, which is very good. So let's go into episode 2. But before we do, watch the community tab like a hawk. That is always very important, as you guys get to, select what ifs I do for the week. Plus, you guys get vid updates, polls, and other fun stuff in between. So again, watch my community tab like a hawk. Also, we hit 7K, guys. Let's go! Thank you guys so much. It's pretty crazy right now. 8K is next, along with 9K, and then finally 10K, hopefully by the end of the year. Alright, anyways, time for quick social media plugs. Twitter is at AnimeSage4, Instagram is anime_sage4, and of course, join my Discord. That will be linked in the description. I'll give you all reasons to follow/join all those at the end of the video, so watch until the end. Alright, time for half usual checklist. If you haven't seen episode 1, I'm still used to saying parts. If you haven't seen episode 1, the link to that will be in the description. With all out of the way, let's get right into the story. Alright, we start our story back off after Gold got his Pokeballs, and is officially about to set off on an official journey. He heads to his house for the last time and tells his mom about the journey he will take. Gold's mom says, "Looks like I couldn't keep you here forever. I'm so glad you are going on a Pokemon journey. Just promise me 2 things." Gold goes in for a listen. That you will accomplish everything you want and to at least keep in touch with me. Gold nods his head and says, "I will, Mom." He hugs his mom and leaves the house, not before agreeing to, send some of his earnings to his mother, savings and stuff like that. He then goes up to the exit of New Barktown and heads onto Route 29, this time for a start of a real journey. Gold thinks himself about the journey ahead. He now has 2 goals at the moment. The first is to collect all the gym badges, all 8. This will of course allow him to enter the Pokemon League and become a champion like Red and Blue did. The other goal is to find Silver and get that Pokemon back from him. Gold has felt some guilt from the whole ordeal because he saw Silver, but didn't pay much attention to him when he was peeping inside the lab, and then he would end up taking Totodile, and he would have his first battle with him. He will admit he is strong, but he doesn't see him as a very good person. Then he had all this talk about his Pokemon being tools and stuff like that. That is the opposite ideology he got from Red, as there are documentaries talking about how Red treated his Pokemon. Heck, Blue has been quoted as treating his Pokemon better than even Silver, as he still cared for them. Gold has a bit of a mix of both Red and Blue's ideologies. He sees his Pokemon as friends and that they should be cared for, but they should also be trained well. And you also have to think about how a Pokemon will fit on your team. You have to also allow your Pokemon to reach their full potential, and you need to be willing to do, at times, whatever it takes to do so. There isn't really such a thing as a perfect team, as Blue himself admitted to wanting to create the strongest Pokemon team that could beat any Pokemon type. That proved to be wrong, as Red would later beat Blue. Though Gold will want to find a team to put together that can complement each other and are very powerful, while also developing relationships with them. Again, sort of a mix of both Red and Blue. Gold then thinks back to what Silver said about becoming the strongest trainer in the world. Gold then remembers there is an entire region on the other side of Johto in Kanto. Does being the strongest trainer in the world mean you have to be both the strongest in Kanto and Johto? Well, it has to be, since whoever wins Pokemon League becomes champion of both regions. However, Gold then wonders if there are more regions out there, which could be possible. Pokemon Discovery has only been getting better as time has passed, but still in its infancy state. It had only been after Red and Blue had become champions that the worlds of Kanto and Johto had become known to each other. It could definitely be possible that there are other regions out there as well. Gold then decides to not think about all that. If there are other regions, then they will be discovered and the world can be further connected. Gold then sees a wild Pokemon ahead. He's seen it before, but didn't have a Pokedex to identify it. The Pokedex has only one name for it, and the Pokemon is Sentret. Gold's like, okay, I'm gonna catch it. Gold throws out his Cyndaquil. He tackles the Sentret a few times. It is again pretty easy, as wild Pokemon are weaker than trained Pokemon. Now is a chance for Gold to catch it. Gold throws a Pokeball at the weakened Sentret and is now in the Pokeball. Gold watches Pokeball very closely. 1 shake, 2 shakes, Freeze shakes. Pokeball then stops shaking and makes a clicking sound. Gold has just caught his first Pokemon. He grabs the Pokeball and takes out his newly caught Sentret. Gold says, "Hey Sentret, I'm your new trainer. Let's get stronger together and see how powerful we can become." Sentret will accept Gold, and Gold's pretty happy he got his first Pokemon. He might not know this, but he probably won't have Sentret on his team forever, as Gold will be catching more Pokemon like Red did, as he does have to complete the Pokedex, right? Especially since after he caught the Sentret, the Pokedex entry he had on it filled up. However, for now, Gold just looks for ways to train. Gold will also catch a Pidgey along the way, so he now has a flying type on his team. Gold's team is in its infancy stages, but is coming along nicely. He then reaches Cherry Grove City once again. He will heal his Pokemon again, and then we'll head back onto Route 30. But not before getting some more Pokeballs, gain 10 of them, so he can get a Premier Ball. He will encounter some trainers along the way who will want to challenge him to a battle. One of these guys includes the youngster Joey, a guy who boasts that his Rattata is in the top percentage of Rattata. If that is the case, the top percentage of Rattata isn't that strong, since Cyndaquil beat it pretty easily. Youngster then asks if he can get Gold's number so they can one day have a rematch, and Gold will say sure. Gold will later take care of some bug catchers along the way. His Cyndaquil and his other Pokemon have gotten stronger. Cyndaquil has just learned Ember, and that is a great thing for Gold, as Cyndaquil now has a stab move. In the Pokemon world, you will want to at least have your Pokemon learn at least one move for the type it is paired up with, because the move gets a boost. Grass moves get boosts when paired with a grass type Pokemon, water type moves with, water types, and so on and so forth. So right now, things are looking up for Gold. Gold then decides to check out the dark cave ahead. He looks around, though it's hard to see in the cave. He sees Pokemon coming after him, at least a small glimpse of it. Gold throws out Cyndaquil and uses Ember to take down the Pokemon, and Gold then throws a Pokeball and catches Pokemon. It is caught, and the Pokemon is revealed to be a Zubat. Gold is intrigued by the Zubat, as its typing is interesting, poison flying, but the moves are kinda lacking, as Zubat has Leech Life and Supersonic. Confusion is good, and absorbing energy from Pokemon is good, but that move, Leech Life, is kinda weak. But then again, who knows, maybe the Pokemon will learn some moves as it grows. And it does, as Gold will later train it after not really having much progress in Dark Cave, and it will get Astonish. Gold will head on to Route 31 and will fight another bug catcher. This one, after he beats him, will also want to exchange numbers, but this one is for berries. Gold is intrigued and says sure. Gold, meanwhile, will later on catch a Bellsprout on the same route, which intrigues him as he now has a grass type, as well as Caterpie of his own, getting his first bug type. Gold will then head towards Violet City. However, as he is about to head into the city, a familiar voice calls out to him. It is Lyra. Lyra says to Gold, "Hey, it's been a minute, hasn't it?" Gold is pretty shocked to see Lyra. Gold then says, "Hey Lyra, what are you doing here?" Lyra then rubs the back of her head and says, "Well, I'm on a Pokemon journey, just like you." Gold then says, "Really?" Lyra nods. "You see, a bit after you left, Elm came over to talk with me. He said that he thought that I was ready for a Pokemon journey like you were, as I was doing a great job of taking care of my Marill. He also gave me this Pokemon." Lyra throws out her Pokeball, and it's a Chikorita. In fact, it is the same Chikorita Gold did not choose at the lab. Gold is amazed and is also happy for Lyra. Gold then says, "That's amazing. You and Chikorita look great together." Lyra smiles and says, "Thanks, Gold. Elm also gave me a Pokedex, and I think that's what I want to do for my journey. I know you want to challenge the gyms and all that. I just don't know if I want to do that stuff. It all seems, kind of daunting." Gold then says, "No worries. Do what you want to do." Lyra then says, "I will, however, cheer you on, and I do want to watch your first gym battle. I also want to check out the city. It looks really nice." Gold nods. Yes, Violet City is essentially the first gym city where trainers from New Barktown will most likely encounter on their way to gain all 8 gym badges. It is public information. All you have to do is look on the town map. Pretty easy and pretty simple. Gold then says, "Sounds great. I'm gonna go head into the city and see if I can find another spot to train." Lyra nods and both separate. Gold will let her know via Pokegear on when he's going to do his gym battle and stuff like that, and Gold heads into the city. Violet City is beautiful and has this very nice and tranquil feel. It's pretty cultural as well, so that's also nice. It has a large tower, to which Gold will hear is called Sprout Tower, where he learns the only way to challenge Faulkner is to beat a certain challenge from the monks over in the Sprout Tower. So then he then asks around for a good spot to train, and the best area is apparently Route 32, so Gold will go over there to train for a bit. He finds a spot and trains his Pokemon. Along the way, he will get 2 new Pokemon. One is Mareep, an electric type, and the other is Wooper, a water and ground type Pokemon. This is where Gold now has to swap out some Pokemon, as he has reached the limit of Pokemon he can carry. So he's between Sentrid, Pidgey, Zubat, and Metapod, as the Caterpie he caught evolved into Metapod pretty quickly. He decides that he will go with his Flyers, as his Pidgey has Gust right now, and Zubat is coming on really nicely. So he puts his other 2 Pokemon into the PC, which will go straight to Elm, but he won't forget about them, as he'll make sure he trains them as well. Just a bit of a rotational thing. The PC was made by none other than the legendary Bill, and allows those who have more than 6 Pokemon to put the Pokemon they have, caught, and send them to their professor, or sort them in units that take good care of the Pokemon, that make them live their best dreams. Gold doesn't really like the second option, so he just transfers his Pokemon to Elm. Lyra has also been watching Gold train as well, and she's impressed with him. Watching him makes her somewhat want to improve her Pokemon as well. Maybe this gym battle stuff could be interesting for her, but then again, who knows. However, she doesn't want to sit around and do nothing but look around the city, so she goes to Route 31 and trains herself. She will also happen to catch a Weedle, so that's a pretty good for her. Anyways, 2 days into his training, after Gold has just healed his Pokemon and has exited the Pokemon Center, he feels like he can take on the Sprout Tower. He suddenly hears a couple people talking near Sprout Tower. The first man says, "That red-haired boy who just entered Sprout Tower. I don't like that dude at all. He had this unpleasant aura about him." Gold immediately realizes who he is talking about. Silver. The other man says, "Yeah, the way he treated his Pokemon was awful. He also sprouted this nonsense that having bonds through Pokemon is ridiculous and Pokemon are meant to be tools. The way he treated his Totodile was just awful, and the poor thing still followed his orders." The first man says, "I'm so angry you lost to him. Hopefully Lee can teach him a thing or two." The other man says, "Yeah, there's no way he will lose to a boy like that." Gold, hearing this, decides maybe now is the time to check out Sprout Tower, and races over there. Lyra, who was looking around the city some more, wonders why Gold is racing towards Sprout Tower, so she decides to follow him. Gold enters Sprout Tower. There's a variety of trainers who challenge him to a battle, but they get handled by Gold, Cyndaquil, Mareep, and Zubat, the latter 2 Pokemon of which have been trained very well. Gold keeps taking up the tower. Again, it's pretty easy when the trainers have nothing but Bellsprout and Hoot Hoot. He then sees a Pokemon around the corner. It's a Pokemon that seems to look like a ball of purple gas or flames or whatever. The Pokédex identifies it as a Ghastly. Gold decides to catch it and is able to use his Mareep to catch it, as Gold gets his first Ghost-type Pokemon. Gold then reaches the top floor of the tower, and then we'll see none other than Silver. At the end, there is a man who is devastated right now. Silver then says, "Looks like I win. Maybe you should question your methods of friendship and camaraderie with your Pokemon, because the guy you called horrible and corrupted just demolished you, and it looks like I can challenge your precious gym leader. I can't wait to demolish him next if these are supposed to be the trainers who determine who is good enough to challenge him." Gold looks at Silver in both anger and awe. Angry because of Silver's attitude, but in awe of how he's able to beat the challenge before him. This also now infuriates him because he is now behind Silver in a way. Silver then sees Gold and says, Well. I can't say I'm surprised you were here, but I was leaning on to the fact that you would have been too scared to continue your journey knowing I would be in the way of your hopes and dreams. By the way, what's your name, since you definitely know mine, and I should know the name of the guy I want to crush?" Gold just stares at Silver with a glare and says, "My name is Gold." Silver then says, "Gold, huh? Interesting name at least. Anyways, if you're continuing your journey, you must have gone stronger at least. Maybe you will beat this pathetic monk as bad as I did. Or maybe your foolish philosophy on friendships and stuff like that will hold you back, and you will actually lose to him." Gold then says, "At least I don't need to steal Pokemon to get where I want to be." Silver then laughs. "Stole? What are you talking about? All I did was grab a Pokemon that was worthy enough for me, and now I'm getting stronger and stronger by the day. You may be strong, but there is no way you could beat me now, and I would show you that the win you got was a fluke if I didn't have other things to take care of at the moment." Gold just keeps staring at him with a glare. Lyra then enters the picture. She asks what is going on. However, when she sees Silver, she realizes it is the same guy who stole Totodile. Lyra then says, You're the one who stole Totodile." Silver then says, "What's with all these accusations towards me? I didn't steal Totodile. All I did was grab a Pokemon that was worthy enough for me, and now I'm getting stronger and stronger by the day. It isn't that hard of a concept to grasp." Lyra then says, "Oh really? Then how about we have a battle?" Gold is pretty shocked right now, as he has never seen Lyra this angry. Silver then says, "You're challenging me to a battle? I don't even know who you are." Lyra then says, "My name is Lyra, a friend of Gold." Silver is now intrigued. "A friend of Gold, huh? You must be pretty strong then." Lyra then says, "I'd say I'm strong. If I win this battle, you have to give back that Totodile." Silver then says, I'll accept those terms. I don't want a Pokemon. The only thing I want is satisfaction defeating a pathetic friend of Gold. Lyra then says, deal. Lyra then says to Gold, isn't this the top floor of the tower where you should be challenging that monk guy? What's his name, Lee? Gold then says, yeah, he's over there, but his Pokemon were demolished by Silver. Lee, who had been watching all this unfold, then says, I can get my Pokemon healed pretty quickly. I actually want to battle you. Gold. Gold is pretty shocked by all this. Silver then says, well, it looks like Gold will be gaining his match after all. Good thing too, because he won't have to watch what I will do to his friend. Lyra then says, go to your challenge, Gold. I'll take care of this. Gold then says, Lyra, are you sure about all this? Silver's pretty strong. Lyra then says, don't worry about me. I'll beat him and get back Totodile for Elm. Lyra then in her head says, plus, I need to prove myself that I can match Gold's strength. Silver then says, let's take this outside the tower. Lyra nods. They then both leave the tower. Gold then looks at the monk Lee and prepares for his battle. Meanwhile, Lyra and Silver take a spot outside the Sprout Tower. Silver then says, get ready to lose. Lyra says, I should be saying that to you. Both trainers send out their Pokemon. Totodile for Silver and Beedrill for Lyra. Meanwhile, with Lee and Gold, Gold is battling Lee's Bellsprout with Cyndaquil. Gold says, Cyndaquil, use Ember. Lee then says, dodge it, Bellsprout. Bellsprout does dodge. Gold then smiles. Cyndaquil then speeds behind Bellsprout with a quick attack, and then uses Ember to finish Bellsprout off. Meanwhile, back to Lyra and Silver, her Beedrill just felled a Totodile with a very powerful water gun attack. Lyra smirks and says, I won't lose here, and throws out Chikorita. Silver then says, well, type advantage, huh? Won't matter. Lyra then says, we'll see about that. Back to Gold and Lee. Gold is fighting Lee with another Bellsprout, this time using his Zubat. Bellsprout fires off his Vine Whip, Zubat dodges it, and then Gold says, bite! Now Zubat! Zubat does so, and Bellsprout is then subjected to suffering. Gold then tells the Zubat to use Leech Life, and Zubat does so as well, as Bellsprout is now losing energy and is also feeling the bite attack. The monk is actually impressed with Gold, as Gold seems to have a bond with his Pokemon, unlike Silver, but also seems to approach his Pokemon with a bit of an analytical approach. Bellsprout will faint and leans on his last Pokemon, while Gold has not lost a single Pokemon. Back to Lyra and Silver, Totodile will absolutely destroy Chikorita with an Aerial Scratch, which was the move that he used on Gold, but seems to have gotten better at it. Lyra is down on her last Pokemon, but is absolutely devastated what is happening to her. Silver laughs. What's the matter? Where's all that confidence a moment ago? You can't even have your starter with a type advantage take down my Totodile? Pathetic. Lyra's on the verge of tears, but says to herself, I can't let him put me down like this. That's not something Gold would do, so I won't either. Lyra grabs her Pokeball and hopes that this last Pokemon will do the trick. It was her first Pokemon after all. Lyra says, I'm counting on you. Go! Meryl! Lyra sends out her Meryl to take care of Silver's Totodile. Lyra says, this is my first Pokemon, not Chikorita. I love all the Pokemon I have, but Meryl's the one I hold the strongest bond with. And I don't care if there is like a 6-1 situation. I will beat you. I will win this. Silver then smiles evilly and says, oh, that's the Pokemon you hold the strongest bond with, huh? In that case, I'm going to be a bit more brutal with this Pokemon. Lyra is kind of nervous as to what that means, but there is no time to think about that as the battle has begun. Back to Gold and Lee. Gold is battling Lee's Hoot with his Mareep. Both Pokemon have been going into a tackle battle as Mareep can't get his Thunder Shock to connect. In the last tackle battle, Gold gets his Mareep to close enough and then says, Mareep, use Thunder Shock! Lee is shocked and Hoo-Hoo has no time to dodge, so he takes a close range Thunder Shock and then a tackle and is down for the count. Gold has just beaten Lee and didn't lose a single Pokemon. Lee is amazed at Gold and goes up and says, that was an excellent battle, young man. I may have been totally defeated, but it was at least to a good trainer such as yourself. You are going to go far, young man, and I am sure you will be a great challenge to Faulkner. Gold then says, thanks, Monk Lee. Gold then says, why did you want to challenge me in the first place? Lee then says, well, I also wanted to challenge Silver, but for different reasons. I wanted to challenge him because I felt the way he was training his Pokemon was wrong, based on what some of the monks who saw him battle were telling me. And at the end of the day, I obviously fell at that. With you, I saw something that I haven't seen in a while. Determination, talent, and I could tell you were a strong trainer. Plus, you beat Silver apparently, so I had to see how strong you actually were, and you didn't disappoint. It's clear that you treat your Pokemon with kindness, but you also have this like analytical approach that is just truly fascinating. You have like this balance between the two, and it's amazing because not a lot of people can accomplish that. Gold is kind of embarrassed and praised and says, I kind of just look at how the Pokemon I have bonded with fit on my team and just let it play out from there. And says, you have a bright future ahead of you, and I think you have the potential to become a champion. Gold then says, really? Lee nods. Then all of a sudden, a scream sounds from outside. Gold recognizes it's Lyra, and then races outside. When Gold gets there, he sees a horrifying scene. Surge is smiling, giving that evil smirk, and Lyra on the ground with her Meryl, who is badly injured. Gold puts two and two together and realizes what happened, and is extremely angry. Lyra just looks at her Pokemon, tears running down her face, and shouts, Meryl! How will this all play out? Find out in episode 3. Thank you all for watching episode 2 of Pokemon Origins Johto version. It is really fun to do this series as I love writing this original story. Let's see how this series continues to do, but so far I love writing the story, you know? Anyways, get ready for a good week this week. It will be hype. Remember to watch the community tab like a hawk. That's pretty important. Finally, follow me on Twitter for whenever I get info from my videos, Instagram for memes or fun stuff like that, and join my Discord for sneak peeks and supplementary content, notifications when I live stream ahead of time, and the ability to send me ideas directly. These are all a great way for you guys to interact with me, so follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and join my Discord server. Once again, thank you all for 7K. Let's get to 8K next. That is all I have to say. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and share the video. This has been your boy, the Anime Sage, sign out. Peace. YEEHAW. Stephanie Shea. Close us out. Bye-bye. Peace.
Hi, this is Stephanie Shea, voice actress for Sailor Moon, Hinata, Orihime, and you are watching Anime Sage.